What qualifies as a trade secret? To qualify as a trade secret, information must meet two essential criteria. First, the information must derive its value from the fact that it is not generally known. Second, the owner of that information must make reasonable efforts to maintain its secrecy. Without meeting these two requirements, information does not qualify as a trade secret and is not entitled to trade secret protections that prevent or remedy misappropriation under the UTSA. According to the UTSA, a trade secret can take the form of a formula, pattern, compilation, program, device, method, technique, or process. Courts have, however, come to different conclusions on what type of material should be considered a trade secret. For example, whereas courts have found that an insurer's database is a trade secret under Wisconsin law, a similar database was found not to be a trade secret in Rhode Island. For information to be considered a trade secret, it must derive independent economic value from the fact that it is generally unknown and not readily ascertainable by someone who might be able to profit from it. However, the mere fact that information is not known to the public does not necessarily make that information a trade secret. For example, information that is not generally known by the public but is known by different manufacturers in the same industry likely would not qualify as a trade secret. If the information in question cannot be quickly or easily ascertained from examining or testing the publicly available product, then it is more likely to be a trade secret. Conversely, if the information may be discovered through public observation of the product or the company's displays, it is unlikely to be a trade secret. For example, customer lists are not considered trade secrets when the identity of the customers could potentially be discovered through public sources. However, identical information, if not available through public sources, could constitute a trade secret. Additionally, processes or systems that are simply a compilation of known information generally do not rise to the level of trade secrets. The courts, however, are still quite divided on this issue. When can an idea be a trade secret? In addition to information, certain ideas may constitute trade secrets. Although ideas were not protected as trade secrets under common law, the UTSA provides protection for certain novel and concrete ideas. Under this common theory, several elements must be proven. The idea in question must be 1. A novel or original idea, 2. Reduced to concrete form, 3. Disclosed to the defendant in a confidential relationship, like one in which it would be implied that use would not be made without compensation, 4. Used by the defendant. Protection of an idea may also be permitted on the basis of a contractual relationship with the defendant. Parties may enter into a contract to protect an idea from being submitted or disclosed to another person or company. The major benefit of a contract to the submitter of an idea is evidence of a protected disclosure that is deserving of trade secret protections. The major benefit of a contract to the recipient of an idea is the establishment of the ground rules under which compensation, if any, will be payable to the submitter. Whether the trade secret takes the form of information or an idea, the owner of that trade secret must show not only that the trade secret was not generally known or readily ascertainable, but also that this lack of general knowledge is what made it valuable. When the owner derives a profit from licensing the use of the protected information, the value to the owner is quite apparent. However, in cases where the owner is seeking to show he was injured in the marketplace or through the loss of profits after costly research and development, the value may only become apparent by inference. But even if information is not generally known and gives the owner some value, the information is not a trade secret unless the owner takes steps to protect the secrecy of the information.